Carlos and Monica collect baseball cards. Carlos has 7 more baseball cards than Monica has. They have 73 baseball cards in total. How many baseball cards does each person have? We always start by reading the problem, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times, and we want to make sure we understand the situation. In this problem, we're looking at Carlos and Monica's baseball card collections. We're given certain information about it, and our end goal is to figure out how many baseball cards each person has. This is a little bit different from the last 2 problems. This problem has 2 unknowns. They're asking how many baseball cards does each person have? So we need to figure out how many baseball cards Carlos has, and we need to figure out how many baseball cards Monica has. Now, we can't let both of them be X because we don't know if they have the same number of baseball cards. In fact, we know they don't. Carlos has 7 more baseball cards than Monica has. So what we need to do is we need to let one of them be X and then figure out an expression for the other in terms of X. Now, if you look, we're trying to figure out Carlos's baseball cards and Monica's, and they tell us something about Carlos. Carlos has 7 more baseball cards than Monica has. They tell us something about Carlos's cards based off of Monica's cards. And we know nothing about Monica's cards. So because Monica's cards are the thing that we know nothing about, that is going to be our variable. We're going to let the number of cards Monica has be X. Let the number of cards Monica has be X. Good. Generally, when we have a word problem where there are multiple unknowns, all of the unknowns except for one are going to be given in terms of the last one. And whichever one we know nothing about, we're going to let be X. So let the number of cards Monica has be X. Now we need to figure out the number of cards that Carlos has. So we're going to start our let statement. Let the number of cards Carlos has be. Now, we need to go up to the problem for this one. We're told Carlos has 7 more baseball cards than Monica has. Well, if Monica has X baseball cards and Carlos has 7 more than X can be represented by X plus 7. So whatever the second unknown is, we need to write it in terms of X. It needs to be an expression with X in it. In this case, it'll be X plus 7. Now that we have our let statements done, we can write an equation that models the situation. If we look back at the problem, there's one piece of information we haven't used yet. They have 73 baseball cards in total. And we're going to use this to write an equation that models the situation. So if they have 73 baseball cards in total, that means that if we add up the number of cards that Carlos has and the number of cards that Monica has, we'll get 73. Well, Monica has X cards, and then if we add to that the number of cards Carlos has X plus 7 cards. So we're adding together the number of cards Monica has and the number of cards Carlos has. And we're told that in total they have 73 cards, so we know that the sum has to be equal to 73. Now we have an equation, and we can solve this to figure out what X is. We'll start by combining like terms. On the left-hand side, X plus X is 2X, so we have 2X plus 7 equals 73. Now we can subtract 7 from both sides to get the variable term alone on the left. We're left with 2x on the left-hand side because the 7's cancel. And on the right, we have 73 minus 7, which ends up being 66. Now, to get x alone, we divide both sides by 2, and that tells us that x equals 33. We need to state our conclusion at the end, so once we know the value of x, we can go up to our let statements. The first one says, let the number of cards Monica has be x. Well, we know x is 33, so we know Monica has 33 cards. If we look at the number of cards Carlos has, we can see that that's x plus 7. In this case, 33 plus 7 ends up being 40. Also, that expression came from the fact that Carlos has 7 more baseball cards than Monica has. If Monica has 33 cards, 7 more than that has to be 40 cards. So either way, whether we use the word problem itself or the expression in our let statement, we can see that Carlos ends up with 40 cards. They asked, how many baseball cards does each person have? We can say Monica has 33 baseball cards, and Carlos has 40 baseball cards. And that's our final answer.